Have you ever seen a roo kick? Have you ever seen an emu run under the bright Aussie skies and said this year we'll be the one? Oi, oi, oi! What does it mean to be a part of a footy team? It's more than a game. The footy's in our veins. It's time to go. It's the Northern Footy Show. Get out of our way. We wanna see them play.
G'day, guys. Welcome to the Northern Footy Show. I know we're running a couple of minutes late again.
That's on me. That's on me.
It's all JK. I'm not taking any
I'm a busy
responsibility
man.
for it. He's busy. He's popular. He's
Since you brought in JK, it's just gone
signing
global
autographs.
and
We
viral.
signing autographs today.
I was today at a
couple of
sports camp.
girls waiting for you at the front as well.
Women, not
women.
girls.
No,
They
not
are
girls,
of
right.
age.
All right, guys, welcome to the Northern Footy Show. We've got a huge show ahead, and one of the topics we're going to discuss shortly is the player point system. As JK is aware, I've just been bombarded with emails. I think in total there's well over 50 now. We'll touch on that shortly, but you're probably wondering, JK, why am I looking so attractive in this very green shirt?
You could have just stopped at why do I think you look so attractive? But the green actually brings out your eyes. So I like it, mate. You look good.
Hazel eyes. I could have brown. I'm not sure. Anyway, so yesterday, JK, and a bit of a dangerous game for me, I met a family brewing company called Brothers Brewing. I met them talking about ways they can help clubs is what we do and so forth. And you can see all their wonderful product in front of us. Now, I've got some notes I'll go through here. Established in 1981 originally, and I'm going to put some links and some videos up this week. But here's an opportunity of a lifetime, right? So if clubs want a couple of free slabs to put in their fridge, to sell the cans, you make 120, 130 bucks a slab. What is it, $5 a can at the footy now?
Yeah, 5 or 6, depends.
Right, so some good point there.
I can't go into what I was thinking.
No, don't. So these guys are going to, for the first 5 clubs, you got to get onto their Facebook page, like it, share it, take a screenshot of it, send it into us, me or JK on our phones or on our live media, whatever you want to do. Put it in here, and then these guys will shoot you out. They'll come out, and James or Steph will drop you out 2 slabs for your club. Now, I had a club man in here earlier today, JK, wanted to jump the gun a little bit here, said he didn't want to miss out from last night's post, came in, had a can, and he's had it, loved it, said it was absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
So he's going to be the first man. I've actually already shot Steph his details. They're keen to get on board with these guys as well. We will cover the Brainy Brothers brewery a fair bit. But as I said, I caught up. I went for 1 beer last night with James.
Big night for you.
It took me, night for me. It took me 2 minutes to insult him and tell him that I think his daughter would look better on social media than him.
Yep, okay.
But I think he copped it sweet. He did bring it up 3 times.
I'm going to say the same about you.
Yeah,
Can I say that?
Absolutely, mate. If it was me or my daughter, it's an easy one. So, no, Steph was amazing. You might have seen the video we put up last night. And so I love what they do for local footy, though. And local cricket and everything. Like, it's a local brewed beer. We talk about local
That's what we're here for, the locals, the sporting locals.
It was the perfect fit. I was tipped into it by someone, happy to get on board. And in turn, they're going to give away a grand's worth of grog, right? So it's a grand up for grab tonight. I worked it out. 2 slabs at $5 a can per club works out to a grand going straight in the coffers of clubs.
Yep.
Now, obviously, let's state the bleeding obvious here, guys, is we're not going to give it to anyone other than a club president or committee member that's over 18. So, and it won't be distributed by us. It'll be distributed legally by these guys in their brewery. So get on board, put something in the comments when you've done it, or send us a text. And as soon as we get them through, we'll jump on it. All right. Yep. We'll come back to that. We'll finish with that. Let's talk about let's talk about the point system. Okay.
That's what we're here for. There's been a lot of people talking about it, and there's a lot of people, wanting to tune in to hear about it. Like, I got messages because it was 5:30 and we weren't on, and about the point system.
Wasn't Dorso, was it?
It was Dorso, but
Jeepers, didn't take. He hasn't even made a comment yet. I'm surprised.
It's coming.
So, all right. So let's talk about this for a second. All right. So what I've done is, and I tell you, I've been lucky here. Let me go back a step. I've been lucky. I've had 3 people, high-ranking people within the system who are anonymous that have supplied me a plethora of documentation on how the system works. Now, before anyone jumps up, wasn't the NFNL, think higher, right? Have sent me through the documentation. You can see where this one's from, right? So then I had another gentleman, fantastic, within the system, very, very articulate, smart man. Spoke to him on the phone today.
High-ranked.
Very high-ranked.
Let's throw that out a few times.
Sent me this on future possible changes, suggestions, and so forth on the point system. Now, let's get clear about something with the point system. I went into it initially. I won't go through all these notes. I don't know whether you can probably see this. I'll put a copy of it up. But it's pretty much a flow chart on how the point system works. And I didn't know this as well, right? So I put my hand up and say I didn't know. I shouldn't comment on things I don't know. But the premier competitions are rated differently to lower tier competitions. If you've come out of the AFL, is very different to whether you've come out of the VFL, a NAB league player, for example. Very different. That beer's just giving me that beautiful taste. Tier 2 league players, senior community players, transferred junior players, and qualification for games. I'm not going to bore everyone with how the point system works, right? However, over the last 3 or 4 days, I have gone through around about 30 players in total, right? This is today's little one. 30 players, and I'm not really finding any errors, right? Might be a couple where the points may or may not be right. That's not for me to judge whether they're right or wrong, okay? The problem is, let me go back a step again for the problems. I understand the system now. When I checked it off against what I thought, the player point system's pretty correct online. 99% of it, right? But it's a bit confusing for clubs as well, right?
I think that's where the big issue is.
Yeah. So if I was a club president and I hadn't read these 3 or 4 documents, and I might add on the back of one of these AFL ones, it states that you have to sign it, that you understood it and read it. But you and I have both signed contracts we've never read.
No.
But, they do have to take some ownership in signing it. Once you've signed it, you should understand it or have someone at your club that understands it. I thought Play HQ, when you register for transfers, it adds up the points. Now, that's not 100% correct either. So it's somewhat relevant from what I can understand from what's put in, if you've crossed over from another league, all of those things can be quite difficult. Pete Rawley is onto this. Good beer. He must have had it before. Loved it. So it's really difficult, to be honest, right? Now, there's been a lot of conjecture around a couple of clubs.
Yep.
Right? And if we've said anything that made someone, intimidated, we don't want that. We're here to have a bit of fun, have a bit of a laugh, and try and report on the best we can. Our philosophy is generally we don't report on bad news, right? So we only report on good news. But this is a topic, I don't think it's bad news. I think it's worth discussing because it's everywhere. It's the most emails we've ever got on anything. All right, so the point system, 50 emails, we're addressing it, we're putting it to bed a final time, and if you've got any problems with it moving forward, you're just going to have to take it up with the league because it's I've lost 30 or 40 hours here easily. All right, so there might be a couple of points that are out here or there. Who knows? From what I've seen, majority are right. Let me tell you.
Is that an issue though? That's 99% correct. It does leave a little bit of conjecture and, 1% wrong. I've missed the finals last year by 1%.
That'll be a problem come the end of the year. But I think that's a league and club problem, not a you and I problem. And it's up to people to monitor it. And I think what's happened here. So continue on with my little thing here. I know Reservoir's copped some flack.
Yeah.
I have checked all day Reservoir statistics and they're spot on, right? So stop the grief on Reza. They're spot on. I'm happy with that. And I haven't checked many other clubs, to be honest, right? Because understanding all this,
the time as well.
Pretty tough. Now, I want to comment to you and put it to you this way. One of these great reports I got, JK, the Melbourne Cup, all right? The best horse, I'm not a horse racing guy, but the best horse might be carrying 65 kilos, right? Wish I was 65 kilos, but they might be carrying 65 kilos far lap. This is as good as my horse racing goes.
Far lap, yep.
And there was the worst horse that ever run. Its name was Drongo, I think. All right, that's where it came from, the word Drongo, because it was a terrible horse.
Yeah.
And he might be carrying 50 kilos, right? I read a report today on and yesterday on a suggestion to the league how it could run under a similar handicap system. So, for example, 46 points is what you get. Let's just talk Division 1 for a second. Heidelberg's got 46 points. They won the flag. They would come down to 44 points next year. Whoever finished on the bottom of the ladder gets an additional 2, 3, or 4 points. Now, in Division 2, they might get more points. Say, for example, Laylaw. Let's just not talk Reza for a minute. But Laylaw's been on the bottom for a couple of years. They want to get going, and they've decided to get an injection of some funds or some players to get it going. They might go to the league and say, we need 50 points, which is what's happened with one other club this year. I don't think anybody has a problem with the clubs having more points.
No,
right?
I don't think so.
Because no one wants to see Reservoir or Laylaw or any of those other sides on the bottom of the ladder, right?
No, you don't, and you don't want to see them close the door.
No, definitely don't want to see them close the door.
I agree. I 100% agree with that.
So the horse racing handicap system, from all of these documents, what I want to see equalisation, JK, right? So I want to see Laylaw have every chance of progressing higher up the ladder, and they might not have access to the stars that Fitzroy stars have, pardon the pun, but they might not have the availability of those players. Demographic-wise, local-wise, talk about someone like West Preston who lost their 19s this year. You're not going to have those 19s coming through next year. They might be able to get a couple of extra points.
Yeah.
Now, from what I understand from this, I reached out to the NFNL. I didn't get a response. It's okay.
Shocked.
I only reached out today. But I can, from this document, the way I understand it is they can amend that within their bylaws, no dramas, as per league. And I get that. And I don't think anybody has any problems with Reservoir having 50 points this year or 55 points, right, at all, because everyone wants to see them go up. I'm stoked to see some great footballers, ex-AFL footballers.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
It's been great.
So it's fantastic for football, but I think there has to be a blanket message, right, that says, hey, guys, these guys are getting 50 points this year. We're giving an extra 2 points to Laylaw, an extra 1 point to Heidelberg West. And Fitzroy Stars played in the grand final last year, so your 46 becomes 44 this year.
Yep.
And that might make them recruit one less superstar, but you see with the equalisation, because what I don't want to see is, let's just say, for example, that Reservoir or Laylaw or Heidelberg West have been down on the bottom of the ladder for 3 years, let's just say, right? Don't hold me to these names, but it's not good for anyone. Same as Eltham or Bundoora. Let's use Bundoora as an example, right? So they're rebuilding right now.
Yeah.
Rebuilding, they're at 45, 46 points every week because they lost 10 one-pointers.
Yeah. Maybe
to help them out so they're not cellar dwellers, they might get an extra point or two. But the rule might be also in Division 1, you can't do that, because that means the next side that comes up is not going to work. So I get that the NFNL and AFL Victoria have to make these decisions on ad hoc basis, on request, I should say, not ad hoc. And I think it's great, JK, but I think you have to display that message. I think a lot of the heat has ended back up on the clubs here because there isn't a blanket message.
Yeah,
just communicate.
Yeah, there's the lack of communication is probably a big thing. Like most of it, you look at big footy, and that's probably where the information has come from.
Yep.
No one really knew that Reservoir had the extra points, and once again, like, not against that.
Yep.
And I think the conjecture towards it was because of that issue not being displayed, people start to talk and then the whispers come and then all of a sudden they look into it and they think there's an issue. And now it's blown up to something that is probably not, or
Yes.
as you said, is not as big as the issue as everyone's saying. But, the 1% is not what everyone's saying, like they're thinking it's more than a 1% issue.
Great.
But, a bit of blowback on Reservoir and, I have made comments as well. And, I say it in, good fun and stuff like that. But I think that it doesn't work with promotion and relegation. Yep. So there's another thing. But as you said,
and I agree. Who put that up there? Kirby. I totally agree with you there. Right. So it might not be applicable to Division 1, but let's talk about the other end of the spectrum, away from lay law. Heidelberg have got. I copped a bit of flack last week. I'll finish on that on Heidelberg. But Heidelberg, good on them. They're playing within the rules. They're doing everything right. I have no problems with it whatsoever. And I don't dislike Heidelberg. I admire them. I think Vin's a fantastic
I'm jealous
coach.
of them.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that, right? Perfect. So I just think that maybe if they lost 2 points, it might equalise a little bit, because beating North Heidelberg, who I tipped to be finished 5th and lost by 120 points, 130 points. They've come out at another good win against West Preston, although West Preston did a bloody good job, I might add. I don't want to ping them, but I love this idea. There's a whole document that's been presented to AFL Victoria.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessary pinging them. It's like, as you said, they've done a great job to build an awesome side.
Yeah.
But, when it's almost like, when did this point system come in? They were already on top of their game. So it's been brought in to even the leagues out and stuff. How can you even out a league if you're already on top, sort of thing? Like, it makes it really hard. Like, I understand why they brought it in, but is it working at the top end? Because you look at, Keilor and the other mob, EDFL, like they're going well as well. Like, it's hard to even it up unless you do what you say.
But it's not just this league, right? So I don't want the NFNL to think I'm picking on them, because after reading it, I reckon it's a big job to manage.
Yeah.
Like, I've spent 20 plus hours on this week, and I'm not sure I still grasp it. But I don't know why something like Play HQ, where you lodge your transfers, can't calculate all these leagues. It might be that they don't run every league or whatever.
Yeah, and it's probably because it only came in the other year, so it's not once again 100% correct.
Yep.
There was stuff about hyphened last names and change of last names and stuff like that, so it doesn't have your full history.
Yep.
So really, it's word of mouth honesty system as well.
Yeah.
So if you get it wrong, for example, if I put you in the other year as 3 points and now you're down to 2. When actually you were 4 points the other year, it's kind of like a everlasting issue now, because it started wrong, or it wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't looked into at the start, and the mistakes happen, and it's a flow-on mistake that's going to keep happening because of that.
And hard for the league to manage it if they don't know it.
Yeah.
What is there? There's probably got to be 400 or 500 senior players in that vicinity, maybe more. It's more.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to work that out. It's just going to be bloody hard, right? So I think someone's just put something up there that I wanted to.
What's Fletch said? I want to see what he said.
I'm just trying to get to that. Someone's sending a spam shit today. Sorry, on here.
38 on
trying to sell me something. Get rid of that. Guys, stop sending it. Just block you like that. Block user. See you later. All right. So let's go back to Kirby for 1 sec. It's a big job. Why isn't the league that profited $400,000 last year employing more people to run it? Okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to just make an assumption here. Let's say they got $1.5 million in the bank. If they went to the clubs and said, we want an extra $200 of each club or $1,000 of each club, and we're going to employ someone to manage this, I think that's a good discussion.
Yeah.
But they might say, well, we've had a really good profitable year, blah, blah, blah. So who knows, But I think it has to be managed. It can't be ignored. And let's be honest, they might have a system. Sorry, I'm getting spam glory. I'm just blocking users like no tomorrow. I can't. it might be something they're working on. I don't know. That's why I reached out to him today,
and
JK,
you're
to
just asking
say,
the question, eh?
yeah, absolutely, right? So, but after seeing it, I absolutely think that the idea here now is to, if something's not right, you report it to the league and let the league deal with it. We're not going to deal with it, is what I'm saying. You know, sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit there, but we're not going to deal with that at all. Okay. So, but I've spent a lot of time in it. And to be fair to the league, it's a bloody big job. I've spent 2 days on half a dozen sides. All right. What's Fletch saying? Heidelberg played at 38 points on the weekend. Absolutely, Fletch. That's what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with Heidelberg. I'm in awe that you're able to play in 38 points, right?
Yeah.
Someone said last week, you and JK are sarcastic towards Heidelberg. We're not sarcastic, right? Don't get confused with what we do here. It's a bit of a fun show to talk about everything. And we report on what people ask us, and you'd be amazed at the amount of stuff we don't report on. However, is it a fair league? If they win 10 in a row, like Northcote Park won 6 or something in a row, I think they were trying to go up to VFL at one stage because they were untouchable here. They had the Pokies from memory at the club at that stage.
Yeah.
You know, it's good on them. If they're playing within the rules, playing within the salary cap, playing within the points, and seems they are, absolutely good on you. Good management, and you've built a fantastic club that people want to go to. Why do they want to play at that club? Good coaches and success.
Yeah.
Right? You've got fantastic coaches down there. I think Vin might go down as one of the greatest coaches in NFNL history as well, alongside someone like Gary Massey. But, you know, it's a real intricate system.
Yeah.
And there's players I knew that I looked up and I thought were wrong. Turns out they're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And there's going to be mistakes somewhere and people are going to report. But I do think it's up to the clubs, to be honest, as well, to when they put their points in, do it.
Get it right.
Now, another thing is, what happens if you record a player, recruit a player 1 week out before the start of the season? You quickly lodge his transfer. It's not enough time to double check all that stuff if you've got to calculate it yourself. There's a bit of effort involved in it. But what's the answers? I don't know. You guys tell us what the answer is. Kirby, they're taking $30 off every single player, senior and junior, that registers. That doesn't pay another wages. Well. Look, it would. I'm not sure what that equates to. Lots. But is that a play HQ fee or a league fee?
I thought it was, but yeah, it was less for cricket season, so it's more for footy. So there's got to be something to do.
Who implements this fee? Is it?
Well, I thought it was Play HQ, but it doesn't make sense to change the fee based on the sport. So obviously the leagues must have something to do with that fee.
Don't know.
But yeah, that's something out of my pay range as well. So I don't know.
So here's my statement. Here's my statement on the rest of this without going through craziness on it. Is communication is the key for this to work. If you communicate with the clubs, I know we're not on the best of terms with them as far as getting information or responses, but if you can communicate, whether you communicate yourselves on your own page, or you communicate it to us, or you communicate it to the Herald Sun, the leader, Ben Higgins, whoever it is, communicate it so people understand it. No one cares if you give Laylaw 56 points.
No, that's right.
Because people want to see them win. And it might be Laylaw get 4 points, Reza get 3 points, West Heidelberg get 2 points, because maybe the criteria, I read in here one of the criteria, if you haven't played finals in 10 years, you're going to need a bit of help.
Well, none of them have played finals for 10 years. So let's
help them. Now, yeah. West Heidelberg's not on a points problem either, but if West Heidelberg had the ability to say, well, I'm going to go and recruit a JK. I'm going to recruit JK. We reckon he's got some good miles left in his legs, but he'll be a 5-pointer here or a 3-pointer, 4-pointer. We can afford to do that. With the extra.
And you can plan ahead, and then it kind of opens up some avenues that you couldn't have before.
And I'm not saying it's a league's fault, because I understand after reading this document that you can go to the league at any time and ask for help. Now, Laylaw's way under points. I think they played with 28 points last week.
It's a good effort.
Fantastic. Like, and their goal, Lance's goal might be breeding kids through.
Yeah,
right?
retaining players.
Retaining players. Reservoir's lucky to have access to this many good players. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I just think overall, communication is the solution to all of this. Now, I do speak to a lot of club people, right? We don't publicize who they are, but we speak to them. But the truth is, out of all of this, is I don't think they know either because it's not being communicated to them. I don't, out of every single person I've spoke to in Clubland across 3 divisions, not one of them have said, or when I've asked them, do you care if this side gets more points? Absolutely not. We want a fair competition, so we don't create one that the same sides are going to win nearly every year or bounce up and bounce down. So South Morang came in this year, right?
They should get
up to Division 1. They've gone Division 3, 2, bang 1. It's going to be a hard year, right? And they'll pinch a couple of games. They were competitive against Mont for half game on the weekend, definitely. So, and had a few players out. So, but I think they should get an extra 2 points. To just try to get there. Now, they don't have a points problem either, but they also have 25 million juniors running out around the club, as do Moonda, as do Lorimer, but Bundoora have no juniors, and West Preston don't have juniors. So I do believe the league will work on it on a case-by-case situation. That's just a guesstimate after reading this document. So, but everyone I checked is accurate. I got a list of about 30 players, and I've tried to check of it. There's a couple there that just don't seem right. At all. But there might be a reason. There might be dispensation for traveling from another state. There might be,
which is also something that should be communicated as well. You know, if it's within
communication's
the rules.
The key.
Like I know from Epping that we had one that we questioned, he was too high. And then it was fixed.
Really?
So that's all we had to do. You know, it's just pretty simple stuff. It was Alfonsi. He was listed as I think it was a 3. He's down to a 2.
Right.
So it helps out 1 point, and it's just been fixed. Like, it's just that sort of thing. But obviously, if it's on the other way, if you're on, you know, the points aren't, you know, on your side. So if you're listed as a 2 and you're meant to be a 3, no one's questioning that, are they? Like, you're not going to question that yourself.
No.
So that's kind of just where we're at. You know, I think the clubs probably do a good job at looking into who's too high. They're not going to look at who's too low.
No, but then it's also, as you said, up to the club to go to the league and say to the GM or the CEO, whoever looks after the points, hey, I think you've got – there's a player on here that I also think his points are too high, and they need to question. I cannot understand. All right, so let me ask you this next question, because this will answer this one. You played Epping Juniors, Epping Seniors, left and went to the Turtles. You would have gone from a 1 to a 3-point player. Then you went back to Epping the following year. Were you a 1-point player? Right. So now if you left Epping that next year and went to Bundoora, how many points are you?
I believe 4.
Right. Because this is the one I can't work out. All right. So if you go back to your junior club, you become a 1-point player. The way I read this, you only get +2 the next year because your points reset at your junior club.
Okay, because it resets it. Okay, well, but it should be 3 clubs in 3 years.
Yes, and if you go to the document, if you've been to 3 clubs in 3 years in a premier competition only, then you would get hit with an extra point.
Yeah, okay. Right? So, but there's nothing in there at the moment that says anything about your junior club, does it?
Yep, there is. So
in this section here.
Not there.
So that's what I mean. So if you've played at 3 clubs in 3 years, but one happens to be a junior club, then it doesn't count. So it's only 2 clubs. Is that?
That's how I read it.
That's how it's being read. I mean,
so there was one person. I'm not going to say who it was that was in question. How can his points be like this? So I just looked at it and I go, "There's no way this could be right." But when going through this flow chart, that's it. All right. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is all of this documentation is going to be available to download off our Facebook page. So that you can look at it, okay? It's really, really important.
They're killing us today. There's
this in my life. Sonny, I know you're trying to help me out here, but I'm trying to run a show, not a marketing lesson.
I don't want to buy your OnlyFans. Sorry, I'm not doing that.
Not doing that twice. All right. So thank you for that. So I think this answers it the best I can. And the reason I wanted to put it to bed is because I don't feel that the pressure should be on the clubs, like these clubs that have been in question. Some of them are getting smashed on big footy. Some are getting nicknames beside it. And some just go, we don't care. It's, we're flying. So who cares? So this show isn't here to do that.
No.
Right? That's not what we're going to discuss every week. But because it's a bit of a lull week with footy, with only the one game on, I thought it was the perfect time to do it. These documents, I will cross some people's names out and I will reload it tomorrow and I'll put it online. So just in finishing on that statement, I just want to finish with, I reckon that it would be bloody hard to manage. Really hard to manage. Maybe you need I'm not telling anyone what to do. Maybe you need an integrity person full-time that looks purely after points and salary cap. Don't start me on salary cap. I don't know how you can monitor it. I don't know how you can monitor it.
Don't know. That's another. We don't have another time for that, do we? That's another podcast for.
I think that
clubs are managing that better than others. I think. So.
Yeah, and probably, and someone's going to have a crack at it and say, "Well, you can't say that." Well, the truth is, there's a possibility someone's out of salary cap somewhere. Right?
Well, I mean, clubs have been pinged in other leagues.
Yep.
So, yes, there
absolutely.
is. People are doing it.
Yeah.
It's not like we're saying something, just making it up. Yep. Like, it's happening elsewhere. So
then you have a look at, for me, the top 3 clubs this year in each division are Fitzroy Stars, and then I think Diamond Creek, and then I think, obviously, Heidelberg. And I say Heidelberg have got a hell of a lot of VFL players there. They've got a huge list, and I know people want to go there, and some people are happy to go there and forego a big paycheck for success. I totally get that, and I think that gets missed in it. Fitzroy Stars is a real cultural side, and it's a great feeling down there. I went down there last year. I loved it. And then you've got, then I see a side like Lorimer, they're just sticking fat with youth, and so they have no points issues at all. So they can afford to fit a Fitzgerald in there and that. But anyway, I think I've rambled on about the point system. I can't believe I've wrapped up in 10 minutes what I spent 30 hours on, but it's tough.
Would be tough.
Yeah. It's tough. All right, moving on. Don't forget, send us your message if you want. I've got a couple of messages come through here. Sean Fitzpatrick from Diamond Creek has liked the page and sent me this. So a couple of slabs going down to Dymo. Hurstbridge, I mentioned earlier, so they've got it going. Details already passed on there, so keep them coming. Couple of free slabs, put them in your room, put them in the fridge, put them wherever you want at the club. Let's make some money off it. This is a great deal. And/or contact me after the show, and I'll put you direct in contact with the Brainy family. Enjoying this beer, I don't really drink on a show.
Yeah, well,
jealous.
I am a little bit, but hanging out till June
27th.
That's the one.
Yep, I know the day.
Yeah,
all right,
fine. I'm itching.
What's that?
I'm itching.
You're itching. No, it's good.
Especially this one looks so good. Mate,
it is fantastic. All right, so let's quickly wrap up last week's games. I don't think there's anything. I'm not sure what Pete Dawson's on about here. Twisties.
He's talking about Tristan Harawa, who plays for Laylaw.
Right. We're not mentioning any names here, though.
No, there's no way. He's not over any cap. He's not over any points. He's just overweight.
Meth, good beer indeed. So you know it. I've seen they stock it at Celebrations, all these stores. So you're getting to deal direct with the brewery, which is fantastic. James, get your club to put their hand up, and I will most certainly make sure that they head down to West Heidelberg as well. This guy sends me one more message. I'm going to lose my mind. Yeah. All right. So, all right. So let's move on. Let's talk about last week's games because we've got time tonight. We're still going to keep the show under 30-odd minutes.
Yep.
Another big sponsor coming on next week, though. Our whole backdrop is going to be redesigned, JK. We have a company called footybanners.com. They make banners that, guess what, hold up in the wet and the wind.
Take that.
Right? That is smart. So I've spent a little bit on the time on the phone to Gadget, his name is. How many footballers do we know with the name Gadget?
Not many.
I do.
How many?
Yeah, like 5 or 6 I've
Yeah,
played
it
it.
must be an old time thing.
North Heidelberg had a couple.
Yeah.
Yes had a couple. Bonnie had one.
There's not many gadgets flying around.
No, really? Yeah, no?
No.
No, that's because you're all rich. So
Come on. Come on. That's not how we know. Don't do that.
The Eltham of Epping, we call it.
Eltham of Epping.
So anyway, they're going to make us a huge backdrop for here for free.
Yeah.
We're going to do some sponsorship. They're going to give us a discount code as well. So anyone wanting banners, they get wrapped up, put in a post-it tube, sent to you, and they hold up in the wet. Fantastic idea. I love everything about that. All right, let's wrap up last week's games very, very quickly. I was at North Heidelberg Bandura, led for 3/4 the Bulls, and we got rolled at the end by a better side of North Heidelberg.
They are putting in some serious performances though, Bandura, and I am worried. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. You could be washing Heath's car.
Yeah, and his son debuted on the weekend.
He did, mate. He's pretty good too.
Yeah, I heard he went well.
He looks nothing like his dad. He's tall. He's got some
that's a good thing.
Good size. And he's 16 years old. Kicked the goal from 45 the other day.
I can't kick 45, so that's good.
Yeah, he'd be proud dad moment. But he doesn't cut his kid any slack, let me tell you. All right, Montmorency, South Morang. Monty got home by 50 points, but South Morang were with him for a fair bit. The gap's pretty big. No Nash Holmes. But they did have JD, Josh Dintasante on the side, Deacon Kalpakis. I think they might lose both of them now, but Noah Cumberland should be due to come back after the Easter break, I reckon.
Is that what you heard?
That's what I heard.
I'm hearing the opposite.
You hearing longer?
Longer, yeah. So we'll see. One of us is right, aren't we?
One of us, 20-cent bet.
Yeah.
But I think they're not getting annihilated, South Morang.
No, I mean, they're putting up score. What they kick 16 goals?
Yeah.
That's still impressive.
27 scoring shots
obviously
in Division 1.
They're attacking really well.
Yep.
They're just probably missing a few things defensively at the moment.
Yep,
so.
Agree. Banyule, they're the ones that are shocking the living daylights out of me.
Not me. I had them in the finals.
Yeah, I think I left them out.
You did?
Yep. All right,
well, this is why the tips at the moment, I'm flying.
It's a mess, isn't it?
You are all over.
Banyule flying, that's going to be huge. Greensy obviously have Eltham. We'll touch on that in a minute. This Friday, tomorrow, with Mitch Robinson in as well, which will be fantastic. Hursty got over Eltham quite convincingly, 46 points. That's what I expect, though, from Hursty.
They were due to bounce back after
they're a contender. Loss, so. Yep. And Heidelberg, West Preston were with them for a long time. However, 60
Class
points.
Prevailed,
that's where you expect it to be.
It. Yeah, I went 100. I probably was overzealous with that, but that's okay.
That's all right. I thought you were right, to be honest. But anyway, we'll go with we'll go second division. Got to go back one round. Sorry, I'm trying to do this live. We didn't print it off. JK picks on me every week for working with paper. McLeod, bang, 86 points.
That's a big touch up.
But
they've bounced back after losing. McLeod. I had a few messages from another JK actually. My cousin Jordan, he plays at McLeod.
Yep.
So hopefully he gets a fine for the mention. But yeah, he said to make sure to mention that they gave him a nice touch up, and it was a very, very big performance.
I'm worried about Thomastown.
I'm worried about them too.
I'm really worried.
Taron Thomas is due to debut, but I heard there's some issues as well there because they're not sure if he's allowed to play from the league. So there's a bit of yap going on there, but he was due to play round 3.
Well, Thomastown really, if they drop one to one of the lower ranked sides,
well, they already did.
It will be season over.
Pound nil. They already dropped one.
But they go again. Can't afford another. Jump back in. St Mary's super impressive.
They look good.
Penton Hill, I thought good the week before. 91 points. That's just shellacking. Well done, St Mary's. They are showing
They're
up.
Moving. They're going well.
Very serious contenders.
I think they're tracking similar to, obviously not as quick, but it's like South Morang, like St Mary's, Div 3, improving, coming through. And they've gone with their core and their group. So, yeah, I like that.
Diamond Creek, 104-point winners over Lower Plenty.
They play their ground so well. It's just too big.
I can't believe it.
They're too good. Jacob Booth, I did say he'd win the medal this year.
Yep.
He's got 20 coach votes in 2 games. I'm pretty good.
He's a star.
Yeah, he's too good.
He's just too good. And he's killing it. Lower Plenty, they'll take just something from that. 3-8, didn't kick it that accurately. But, 11 scoring shots to 35.
It's a bad day.
That's a bad day out. Diamond Creek looking super strong. Maybe they should be playing in Division 1.5, but you got to win them on the big day.
It's true.
That was 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
2 in a row. 3 in a row. Big problems. All right. So
big dramas. Yep.
Whittlesea, 27-point winners over Watsy. What a great effort by Watsy.
Big effort. And I mean, scoring shots, what's that? 25, 26 to 24.
Yep.
So they're probably
They're in
the
it.
game.
They were in it indeed.
Whittlesea had a few big name players playing in the reserves as well.
Yep.
They all went away to the wedding and
3 points at 3/4 time.
Yeah, that's big. So good effort.
That's pretty interesting. And then the last game there, Northcote Park went bang, bang, bang on Old Paradians.
Yeah,
that's
more than I expected.
60 points?
More than we expected.
Yeah, I thought Old Paradians a little bit better than that, but
yeah, I think just
maybe they're a bit stronger, Northcote Park as well.
Than we thought. Yeah, I think we had them in the finals though. So that's that's a big result for Northcote and probably a little disappointing for OP.
All right, moving on, Division 3 very quickly.
Got to go back.
I'm not going too earlier.
No, you're not.
No, it's not my night. Had a big day. All right. Fitzroy Stars.
Farrant goalless.
Yeah,
only played
half a game.
Half a game, but still half a game to keep him goalless. Huge. Matty Campbell. It's a massive clamp. So well done.
So look, yeah, that's huge. I got a wrap up from my little man down there at the game, and he said that Campbell was outstanding.
Yeah, which is massive. He played really well the week before too. So,
but they got jumped as well. I think they got
big
jumped
time.
by 50 points or something.
Yeah, they were in big strife.
31 points to 0 at quarter time.
And Mernda a really good first quarter side. So
yeah, got a little bit of a smash. Got to tell you, I'm not sure Fletcher will be over the moon that a couple of boys took the week off and gather around.
Did they?
So he will.
Wow, I wouldn't be shocked if they come back through the twos, but obviously it's a massive game against Lorimer next game.
Oh, big game, big game. Ivanhoe went smack over Heidelberg West.
Yeah, I knew you'd be happy with this one.
Yeah. Barnesy, I tell you what, you're a ripping fella. I absolutely love Barnesy. He's a good-looking rooster too.
He is actually.
He's a great guy. So you owe me $250. Right. So to put towards a charity,
$250.
$250. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut you some slack. Right. I'm going to give you the option of 250 is too much because I only put up 100 over the bar.
Yeah.
So let's back it back to 100. If you donate that $100 to the MND charity night, I'd be happy with that. And you can do that when that game comes up. I think it's Anzac Day weekend.
Yep.
And we'll call it 100. And then I'll promote your business for free on here for the rest of the year. If you ever need a gutter cleaner, Bryce Barnes.
It's the one?
The best.
I actually have him in my rolling team of the year. So
really?
He started well.
No, he's a gun. Only available for half a year on here.
Oh, okay. So, that's an issue.
He's a star. So, Barnesy, there you go. And if you're not happy with that, we can go double or nothing on another game. But I get to choose it.
I love it.
All right. So, we'll work that out. He's a ripping guy. I don't want $250. $100 to MND, I'd be over the moon. We got a big MND night
we
coming up soon. So, all right. Well done to Ivanhoe. I listened to Schultz. He's on the podcast today, the NFNL
another
podcast. He's a star.
He's flying.
Sounds like he smoked 17 packs of cigarettes, though.
He's doing everything. He plays forward pocket at the moment. He's taking kick-outs and kicking goals.
Mate, you don't know this, but he's 73 years old.
He's doing something that
he's
I'm not.
He's a freak, mate. He's amazing. No, I love him. He's a ripping guy. He's just fantastic. All right.
The next one was a good game.
Old Eltham Collegians Reservoir, close game, 36 points. I reckon Reza probably would have thought they could win that game going into
and they were leading as well, so they'd be disappointed. Having a look at the numbers.
Yep, they were up at halftime, and they were up by 8 points at halftime, and they were down by 13 points at three-quarter time. 23.
It's a big turnaround.
Yeah. So but the same thing happened with Bundy. You can't fall asleep for 10 minutes in footy,
it hurts.
And it's all over.
Rushton McCoach in some serious form at the moment.
Yeah, he's
31. Top. He had on the weekend.
Top.
How good's Prem Data? Oh, I've been living on it at the moment.
Don't know, mate. Don't have it. Don't even have access to
Bundy, don't have it?
No, don't have it.
Need to grow up a little bit.
No, it's bloody expensive.
Yeah, I know.
I'll just pinch your login. Righto. All right. So
Kinglake, that's a big win.
Kinglake. I didn't know where Kinglake were going to fit this year, so that is a huge win. That's
fantastic. They've gone bang. I'm hoping
87 points over Laylaw.
I'm hoping Kinglake are a lot better than we thought, and it's not Laylaw being a little bit worse than we thought, to be honest. No. But Kinglake do play Epping next game, so that's going to be one for them. That's probably going to tell where they're at.
Yeah. All right. Epping versus Lorimer.
Good game.
What happened, big fellow?
Oh, they did jump Epping.
Yep.
So, can I say us? They
Yep.
didn't play. Oh, yeah, they jumped us to start.
Did the pink man?
Yeah. Oh, hey, I look good.
That was good as me.
Doida kicked 4 in the first 15 minutes. So
Wow.
that is tough
He's
to
a star.
stop. Very impressed with Caden Arthur too on the wing. He's a star.
Caden Arthur, when we were doing our stuff at the start of the year, he was my guy that I put in or put out of that top 10 players.
Yeah.
I think he's.
I hadn't seen too much of him because obviously he was a bit younger when we were playing Div 3 against each other. And then, he went up to Div 2. So I hadn't seen too much of him. And, he's a star.
Good singer too.
Is he?
Have you seen him on TikTok?
No.
Doesn't he follow the great JK?
No, he should. If he follows me, I'll follow him.
Caden, you got to follow each other.
Caden, Jaden.
Yep.
It works, mate.
It works, mate.
So,
he's a very good
but,
singer.
they were very good. Played very well. Epping were, disappointed.
Yep.
But I think both of them are going to be up there, aren't they? That's probably
that's a semi-final.
That's the prelim.
Preview.
That's the prelim.
Yep. Well,
So-
maybe prelim. You could be right. I think it's. I think they're good results. You want that. All right. So that covers that. Let's talk about the big game that's coming up this weekend. As we just
The new gadget.
the new gadget, JK, the new gadget from Alfonsi. Is he favourite to win? The big. What's your medal called?
The Cole Bartlett medal. He
Bartlett.
finished second last year.
Yep.
I'm gonna say he's not favourite. I think Caff will win. But he's a coach's bet. Coach's favourite.
What's going on with Caff's pick, mate? With the trophy over the thing?
Jeez, he looks good.
Mate, is he great?
Mate, he looks unbelievable.
I got a man crush on him. He's killing me.
Yeah, I
now.
know. It's great. It's a Paddy Chow Cup photo. It's pretty good.
I was actually going to put my face on his rig and so it looked like me, but
You
I
should
couldn't
have
get
done
rid of the chin, so it didn't matter.
Yeah,
Lee Judd banner. Yep, mate. If we can get a Lee Judd banner, so let me talk about this for 10 seconds again. If you've got an upcoming milestone, you let us know, and we're going to give away one free banner. All right, one free banner. We'll do a photo shoot on it and everything. So Lee Judd must be coming up for his 400th shortly.
I think he's played 155, but geez, he's been around a long time.
Yes.
Good to see him back out there after injury. We got Jimmy. All right, wants
a shout out for his ruck craft for a tough day out against Ivanhoe.
Shout out.
Ryan, we've shouted you. You might get Barnesy to shout you too. He's got some leftover cash. So, no.
I look forward to seeing the ruck craft against Epping. We'll see how Ryan goes.
Now, I did say if I lost, I would go down to Heidelberg West and buy
dinner.
them all a dinner.
Yep.
I'm not going to do that,
No.
but I am going to go down and have a dinner with them in the next couple of weeks.
Beauty, that's
because
good
they're
to
a
hear.
great bunch of guys.
Danny.
Danny's still waiting on my T-shirt.
Yeah,
while we're on the T-shirts, Roy Smith, here it is. I've handed it over. Right, he told me he was going to drop it off to you last week. It's there. Danny, I know there's a few over there. I've actually sent out so many, and there's only a couple there left for me to send out. I'm waiting on some new prints to come on so I can press them on. But I've got Mutsies over there, which I've got to send. And that other one over there is for Adrian at your club.
Okay.
So take that one with you.
He was down back at the club as well Thursday.
Seen that?
That's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Hello, Frogger. Peter Dawson just wants to speak to everyone here. Barnesy has heaps. Make him pay 500. He's a ripper guy.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm keen for the Heidelberg West Epping game. If he's got 500 in the pocket.
Should we double up for that game?
I hope it's a pay week for us teachers.
I don't think you'll bet on that. All right. So, sorry, my phone. Got another one here. What do we got here? All right. I've got some photos coming through here of people that have gone and liked the page. So I'll do that at the end of the show. Eltham Greensey coming up, JK. Friday, Good Friday game. I think it's a fantastic idea to have footy on a Friday.
Yeah, it's great. We played the other year too, so it's really good.
I'm surprised we don't have one for each division, but maybe that takes away from it a bit.
Takes away from it, I think.
Yep,
and
okay,
these
good
guys
idea.
have been having it for a while
Have
now.
they? Good.
Yeah, it's
Excellent.
almost.
Well, Mitch Robinson's
years.
there again.
Yeah.
So last time he played very, very well, was in the best. Good
You
player.
going to tip him?
Eltham versus Greensey. Am I going to tip Eltham? No.
I am.
Are you?
I'm going to tip him.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I reckon, look, at Panther Place, they're a couple of goal better side.
That's what I'm thinking. Panther Place.
Greensey, though, for me, are still a final side. And if they drop one to Eltham here, I reckon that hurts a fair bit. So I think they're too good for that. That's what I think. Pete's pretty happy with his Ivanhoe boys as well. So
They played well. I'm keen to play them.
how many do you reckon they get at this game?
Oh, I don't even know. Like, what is like? It's.
I reckon they get over 1,000.
I was going to say two
Yeah.
or three. So
Yeah. And I think it'd be a great day for the club. It's a great ground to watch footy.
yeah.
I'm a big fan. I coached there for a few years at Eltham Juniors.
Good job.
That was young Jimmy Atkins. That's where he played, and I coached there for a few years. It's a fantastic experience. Lovely, lovely people down at Eltham. It's fantastic. Now, I was asked today to read out the tribunal verdicts. I don't
Who
know.
asked you to do
I
that?
don't know why. I'll tell you off air. And
This is interesting.
but I don't know whether I should. I'm
There
not.
has to be a reason why.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna.
Let me. I know there's an Epping bloke on there. Is that why they've done it?
I
No?
don't know. No, that's not the person
Oh,
that asked me.
No, I thought we were having a
The person
dig
that
at
asked me's on it. So I don't know whether I'm not going to read it out because it's probably the wrong reason.
Corey Middleton.
So let's not do that. Right.
wasn't you.
All right. So let's now this footy here before we go, guys. I'm not sure how far into the show we are time wise. Oh, it's a 50-minute show. It's a long show.
Cool names, yeah.
All right. This footy, Ian Cole from the Bundoora Footy Club, it's an absolute club legend. We were talking about those brown footies that you kick and you used to break your toes on. So he gave me this the other day. It's a 1980s Kookaburra Galaxy footy to put on our little shelf up there. What a lovely gesture.
That's awesome.
What a ripping guy.
And it actually looks really good next to our beers too.
Stoked on that. Now, the last thing we have to do before we go and we call it a day is say cheers for the Pioneers. That's the Brainy Brothers Brewing thing. So, guys, I've got a heap of inboxes of people that want some free slabs. We're going to go through it, make sure you liked it. But until next week, keep kicking goals and cheers for the Pioneers. See you later, guys.
Love it. Roy Smith.